Houston Roughnecks head coach Curtis Johnson. Welcome to Dumb Decisions. Welcome everybody to JG9 News, where we talk all things NFL all the time. I'm Jared Gare, and I represent the 904 from the 602, and today we are talking the United Football League and what happened during week 1 of the season in the game between these two teams behind me right here, the Houston Roughnecks and the Memphis Showboats. We're going to break down a really dumb decision that head coach Curtis Johnson made during that game. Now, before we go any further, if you're used to dumb decisions on my main channel, Jared Gare 9, that's one of the staple series of that channel. I love doing that series. This is going to be a bit different. It's going to be a lot more laid back, a lot less structured. Just me talking, not with a script or anything like that. Don't worry, for the NFL season on the main channel, this is not going to be the format. It's going to be the format that we've used for the last few years. But for UFL, I figure I'd just make it a bit more relaxed, get it out a bit quicker because of footage reasons and because we got a lot to talk about with this decision. The Houston Roughnecks did not look good in week 1. They lost to Memphis Showboats. I might do power rankings later in the week. And if I do, I can tell you this much, Houston's going to be at the bottom. And with coaching like this and decisions like this, it's not really a surprise. So let's go to the first quarter of this game with the Roughnecks down 9-0 against the Memphis Showboats. It's 3rd and 9, and Guarantano calls a slant pass for 5 yards. Now, it's a slant concept over the middle of the field. The first read is short of the sticks, so the goal here is simple. Get it close to set up a field goal or 4th and manageable, because at the 43-yard line, you can't really do anything where you are right now. So if that was the goal, you know what? It's a good play. Nice open field tackle to prevent the first down, but it brings up 4th and 4. Now, again, the first read is short of the sticks. That means you're probably not trying to get a first down. It's not the end goal of it all. You want to make it 4th and manageable, or you want to get the field goal range. But here's the thing. There's a difference between the play clock and the game clock here. So you have to get something off. You can't try and get them with a hard count and take a delay of game. It would not work in the slightest bit. It'd be different if there was no difference, obviously. If the game clock was at 10 seconds and the play clock was at 15 seconds, then yeah, you could absolutely do that and then think it over for the second quarter and try and get him with a hard count before the end of the quarter. But you can't take a delay of game penalty here. And sure enough, what do the Roughnecks do? They take the delay of game penalty and back up 5 yards, meaning that the third down play was all for nothing, and they are forced to punt the football away. And this made no sense to me whatsoever. I was losing my mind when this happened on stream. Take a listen, take a look. This is what was happening when I was watching the game with my audience on stream. There is a difference between the play clock and the game clock. Are they trying to get the hard count? They do realize there's a difference. They do realize there's a difference. And Houston's going to be out of timeouts. So they're going to think this one over. Wait, did they do all that just to take delay of game? I don't get that. If that was the play, why would you call that short pass on 3rd down? Why would you call a short pass on what? Why would you call a short pass on 3rd down that's not going to get the first if you're just going to take the delay of game afterwards? That doesn't seem to make a whole lot of sense. Did they not know the situation? Did they not realize there was a difference in the play clock and the game clock? I'm not going crazy, right? That made no sense. And for the record, we do just about every single UFL game live as it happens on my main channel, Jared Gare 9. So if you like that commentary, go check that out. Go check those streams out. We go live for just about every single game. It's a lot of fun. We have a good time. But there's a few reasons why this made no sense. Number one, you had a timeout. So even if you didn't want to go for it, you can try the field goal from there. You can easily try the field goal from there. It's not too long of a kick. It's a 55-yard try. And you know how I know that it's not too long? It's within your wheelhouse? Because literally later in the second quarter, you kicked it from there. You kicked it from that exact same spot from 55 yards out. So what changed then versus on this play? It's not like it was an end of the half situation where you had nothing to lose when it happened in the second quarter. No, you would have given them some pretty good field position if you missed it. So you tried a 55-yard field goal there, but 20 minutes before you decided not to try the 55-yard field goal, even though you were trailing both times? How does that make any sense? I don't get how you can be trailing and punt the ball away, and then from the same yard line, in the same quarter, in the same exact spot and scenario, you decide to kick the field goal and try and get points. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. It'd be different if you tried a field goal from 49 yards out and this one was from 55, but it was the same exact yard line. It was the same exact yard line. So I don't get why, if that's the case, if you're like, okay, your kicker can hit from 55, why not take the timeout if you don't have a play, you're not going to go for it, so that you can try the 55-yard field goal? It doesn't make sense. So that means there were one of two plans here. One of two plans that Curtis Johnson had during this sequence. Number one, you were never going to go for it or kick the field goal. You will always set in the back of your mind, you know what, if we don't get the first down here, we're going to punt this ball away. But if that was the case, why would you call a passing play where the primary route is short of the sticks? That doesn't seem to make a lot of sense. If they tried a 30-yard passing play, something deep down the field, a deeper slant pass, a crossing pattern deep down the field, a post pattern, if they did anything that was past the first down line, it would make sense for them to do this to some extent. Because it'd be like, okay, we're going to try and get the first down. If we don't get the first down, we're just going to punt the ball away and try and pin Memphis deep. But if you're trying to pass short of the sticks to make it fourth and manageable, unless the receiver can break an open field tackle, if that's the plan, then do something on fourth and manageable. Do something to either kick the field goal when it's in makeable territory or go for it on fourth down. But it doesn't make any sense to just negate what you did on third down and have that be by design. So that's option one. Or option two was that you were going to go for it or kick the field goal. The plan was to always try and get points on that drive and go for it on 4th and 4, but you didn't know the clock situation and didn't realize the difference between the play clock and the game clock, which is insane to me because you had to just look up, and it wasn't like this was a 1/10 of a second difference where it was borderline, where they're both synced up pretty evenly. No, it was very obvious that there's a major difference between the play clock and the game clock where you have to get this playoff before the end of the quarter. You can't take it all the way down to zeros. So it just made no sense to me. Whether they went for it, whether they kicked the field goal, I would have had no problem with either one. I just don't get why, if you have a timeout and you're doing this, you're calling a passing play short of the sticks on third down, intentionally short of the sticks on third down, barring an open field tackle that you break, and then you take the delay of game to just negate what you just did. It doesn't make any sense to me. After the game, Curtis Johnson did not explain his rationale for the decision. Now, granted, the press conference was super short. It was about 3 minutes long. 1 minute of that was an opening statement. He only took a few questions. One of them was about what he thought about the attendance and the fan support and just the future of the UFL and the future of the Roughnecks. But I would have loved to have heard what the heck his rationale was. There were a few questionable coaching decisions, to say the least. There was one that ended up meaning absolutely nothing in the Michigan-St. Louis game, where St. Louis was on 4th down and Michigan only sent 3 against A.J. McCarron, even though every time they sent 3, A.J. McCarron found the open guy and had plenty of time to throw, and he seemed work on Michigan's defense when that happened. But it didn't matter, obviously, because Jake Bates hit that 64-yard field goal. But this was the dumbest one of the bunch. I'm not sure how many people are talking about or how many people remember, but I just had to bring it up because it baffled me and blew my mind when it occurred because of all the reasons I just said. Again, Houston is going to be a rough team this year. Pun completely intended, since they are the Roughnecks. A lot of confusion with the Roughnecks because it's basically the Gamblers roster, but it's the Roughnecks branding. They're not in a good spot. They're not in a good spot. And if Curtis Johnson continues to make coaching decisions like this, he's probably the weakest coach in the UFL. Just from a resume standpoint, he was not that good at Tulane. And if he keeps making decisions like this, it's going to be a long season for the Roughnecks. I can tell you that much. It will not be good times in Houston if you keep doing stuff like this. You can't be surprised when this play backfires. Talk about a really dumb decision by Curtis Johnson and the Houston Roughnecks coaching staff here. But what are your thoughts on this play? Do you think this was a dumb decision? Do you think this was the right call to call a pass short of the sticks and then intentionally take a delayed game penalty? Or I don't even know if it was intentional. Maybe he just didn't realize the difference in the clock and thought he could take it down to the end of the quarter and realize, oh crap, I can't do that. I don't know, but do you think this was the right call? Do you think this was a dumb decision? What would you have done in this situation when you've called a timeout and kicked it? Would you have gone for it? Probably you would not have done whatever the heck this was. At the very least, you were going to call that passing play on 3rd down if you were just going to punt on 4th down. But what would you have done in this situation? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And again, we're doing this UFL dumb decision style. It's very different from the NFL dumb decision style that we're doing, where it's more heavily edited, where I get the footage of the coaches, where I get the footage of everything. It's a lot different here, but hopefully you guys like this more relaxed format on JG9 News. Again, JG9 News completely unscripted, and all UFL content, not counting the live streams, is going to be on JG9 News, and we got a lot of stuff coming in the coming days, including TV ratings, which are out, and I cannot wait to share those with you because the numbers are pretty good. But that's going to do it for this episode of JJ9 News. Be sure you like and subscribe. It helps the channel out a lot. And be sure to check out my main channel, Jaguar9, where we talk all things NFL history all the time, and it can be live stream all the UFL games on that channel, or just about every single one. Until next time, this is Jaguar9 signing off, and as always, go Jags.